welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today we are not making soap. We are going to make a very simple lotion recipe and be adding a secret ingredient, which isn't so secret, zinc oxide. We're going to turn this simple lotion into a sunblock. And I promised my followers that are vegan, because I had made a tallow sunblock, that I was going to do one that can be a vegan product. Well, this is for you. This lotion that I'm making, you don't have to add the zinc oxide. It's just a very nice, light lotion, fast absorbing. I think it's fantastic. But I will show you how to take a simple lotion recipe, add some zinc oxide, and now you have a really nice homemade sunblock that you can use. And you can add the zinc oxide from 5 to 20%, so you can make, it less or more SPF. And I'm not giving an SPF number, because once you give out a number, you're now making claims that are a cosmetic claim, and it's now FDA regulated. And so if you are making this product to sell, I would simply call it a sunblock, and I wouldn't put a particular SPF on there. Just be careful and know your labeling regulations and things for different products that you're making. So that's the zinc oxide. The fragrance I'm using today, you could make this scent-free. You could do essential oils in this. It's just, I love lotions. They have so much wiggle room to customize. The scent that I'm using today is called Boardwalk Marshmallow Clouds, and that's quite a mouthful. And this is a knockoff of, I think, a Bath and Body Works scent. It's a knockoff of something, and I'm not sure what, but it smells fantastic. And I have my bullet notes on the side here. In soap, it soaps well, but it discolors to brown. So I was like, I want to use this in a lotion. I may make a soap to go with it, but when I'm using a discoloring fragrance in a soap, I have to factor that in. I don't know why I'm talking about soap. We're making lotion today. This is the fragrance I'm going to be using. Okay, so with lotion making, body butters, bath bombs, all of those things, a good, clean, sanitized surface is key. And so I need to get all of my equipment and my work surface sanitized, and I'll get all of my ingredients out and prepped and ready to go. We'll go step by step through this very simple lotion recipe, which is now going to be a sunblock lotion. All right, we are back. I've got all the ingredients ready to go here to make our lightweight summer style lotion. And then we have our zinc oxide off to the side that's going to turn this lotion recipe into a sunblock or a sunscreen. And you can make this lotion without the zinc oxide. It's just a fabulous, basic, lightweight lotion recipe. So all that being said, let me tell you what's going on. Today, I'm going to be filling these. These are little 4-ounce amber squeeze bottles with a little squeezy top. I think the delivery on these is going to be perfect for the thickness of this lotion, and I got these on Amazon. So those are the bottles, and we'll talk about those and labels when we're all done making this. I've got my little faux hot plate off here. This is not a double boiler. What it is a hot plate with a saucepan, and I have a washcloth in there so I can set my glass beakers down and they won't bump around on the bottom when it's at a simmer. So I'm going to be melting my oil portion and bringing my water portion up to a nice heat temperature in here. And then I've got my scale, and we are going to measure out the liquid portion, the water phase portion of this lotion first, and then we'll talk about the oil phase that we have going on here. But the water phase, let's start. I need 154 grams total of liquid. You could do all water. You could do all aloe vera juice. I'm going to do a 50-50 split between water and aloe vera juice. So the 154 grams is the liquid portion, and then I'm also going to be adding 5 grams of glycerin. So you can do a bigger glycerin amount if you want. Glycerin is a humectant, which means it draws water into the skin. Very moisturizing, really great in lotions. So we're going in there at about 2% glycerin. So let's get to the measuring here. Let me get my scale turned on, and I am measuring in grams because these are tiny units. Let's come in here. I am going to just measure, so 154 grams of liquid. I'm going to go about 50% water, 50% aloe vera juice. And again, you could do all aloe, but I like the 50-50 split. I don't know why, but I do. So that's what I'm doing today. This is a very full jug. I hope I can pour in here without dripping. we went a couple grams over, and that is okay. Again, with lotion making, there's a little wiggle room. So I measured 161 grams here, but my recipe calls for 154 grams, and it's going to be just fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. That's one of the beauties of lotion making. Let me tear this out now, and I am going to add 5 grams of vegetable glycerin. Again, for that humectant property, it just adds a little something extra to your lotions, and I recommend it. There we go, 5 grams of vegetable glycerin. Not much, but it's good. And now I am going to take this little beaker of our liquid portion and set it over here and let it start to come up to simmering temperature. I like to let my liquid portion simmer for a while. So actually, because I overshot on my grams there with the liquid, some of the liquid is going to evaporate off of here, and so it'll probably even out in the end. But I'm going to set this over here and let it start warming up. And now let's get to our oil portion of the recipe. Okay, it's time to start with our oil phase or oil portion of the lotion. And to start off, my first ingredient is an emulsifying wax. I have used Soft and Silky in the past, which I love. This is just a basic emulsifying wax. I got it from Soaper's Choice. And I'm gonna add 11 grams or 5% e-wax or emulsifying wax. If you ever see somebody write e-wax, that's what this is. So 11 grams of e-wax going in. And the next ingredient is avocado oil. And avocado oil actually has a natural SPF to it, so I thought it went really perfectly in this lotion. Since we are turning this into a sunblock, I need 23 grams of avocado oil. All right, our next ingredient is jojoba oil. I need 14 grams of jojoba, and it also has some natural SPF to it. So again, it's great on skin. Jojoba is actually technically not an oil, it's a wax. It's in the wax family, so it has a very light feeling on your skin. I love it. So 14 grams coming on in here. All right, and the last oil is olive oil, which also has some natural SPF to it. 14 grams of olive oil. All right, this is the entire oil phase. I put it in this larger container because I'm going to be pouring the water portion in here, and I want to have room to blend. But now I've got to put it on my little hot plate here. Let me pull this over. We're up to a nice simmer. And I'm just going to have this on here until all of the emulsifying wax is fully melted and it's clear. And I'll just let this simmer away, and they will be the same temperatures when all is said and done. So I'll be back when we're ready to blend the two together. All right, we are back. All of the emulsifying wax is completely melted, which is fabulous. The liquid portion has been simmering. Again, fabulous. So we're going to pull this off the heat here. Let me turn this off. I love my little hot plate here. It's so convenient. And my very low-tech boiler, but hey, you know what? It works. It's inexpensive and it works. I love those two things. All right, here we go. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead and mix my zinc oxide into the oils. I think I'll go ahead and do the water in the oil first, and then we'll do the zinc oxide and get it incorporated. And these are a little warm, but it's okay. We're just gonna go for it. And I have this little handheld mixer. It's a little smaller profile than my big soaping stick blender. And I love this part. I always love to add the oils and the water portion together. And see that milky color come out. It just, I don't know, there's something really satisfying about this. So right here, you got a great lotion, but we're gonna kick it up a notch. So let me go ahead and blend this. So this little thing, you push it once and it's slow, tap it off, go the second time and it goes faster. So I just wanna get a nice emulsion here. I'm not trying to froth it, it's frothing a little, but I just want to make sure it's all blended really well before I go ahead and add in that zinc oxide. And it looks perfect. So we're very blended. Got a little frothy top, no big deal. So this is, let's talk about the zinc oxide. I recommend when you add zinc oxide to a lotion or a butter formula to make a sunscreen, adding it between 5% of your total volume up to 20%, which is what I did in my last video a couple of weeks ago. If you watched that, I did a full 20% zinc oxide. And today I'm going to do 12%. So I'm doing 12%. This is 27 grams of zinc oxide that I'm going to blend in here. And that still gives a really nice sun blocking coverage. It's, you know, it's pretty good. It does the job, that's what I'll say. And again, I'm not going to make SPF claims because then you get into a whole cosmetic realm and stuff, but I can just say that I have slathered this on and it gets the job done really well. All right, and I'm just gonna blend this until I am feeling like there's absolutely no chunks of zinc oxide in there. And we'll give it a skin test and show you. When you put it on, it is very white, but if you rub it in, it does not leave a white cast on the skin, but it does take a little massaging. No big deal, right? Nobody minds a massage. Let me turn this down to low. It's getting a little frothy there. I think this is technically a coffee frother, and it does indeed froth, but that's all right. So now we need to let this cool off a bit before we come in, and I will get my thermometer out in a little bit. All right, let me back up. I get asked a lot, what temperature are your oils and waters? You know, I actually don't take the temperatures. I want to see a simmer on the water, and I want the emulsifying wax to be melted. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a number. Now, when it comes time to add our cool down phase, which is our preservative and the fragrance, I am going to take the temperature to make sure it's not too hot, because you can actually deactivate the preservative activation. You know, you can make it null if you get it too hot. It will not have the properties it does. So we'll talk about that when we pull it out. But I am pretty convinced we have a really nice blend here. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to let it sit and cool for a bit, and then we'll come back and take the temperature and get into our cool down phase. All right, so here's a closer look at the little bottles I'm going to be using, and they have the little toggle lid on there. I know there's a name for it, and it's escaping my mind right now, but that's what this is. So I've got my little bottles off to the side here. I have a funnel to fill them, and all of that here, I've stirred it. Let's take the temperature here. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself again. Today I am going to be using Optifen as my preservative in this product, and I'm using it at a rate of 1%. So I'm going to add 2 grams of Optifen. And when I'm doing teeny tiny measurements, I've got my little pipettes here, which are very nice for adding small units. All right, so I added the Optifen. Let's take the temperature again. It's at 116. Optifen needs to be added under, I think, 125 or 120 degrees, so we were definitely safe on there. And now I can add the fragrance in here before we get this into the containers. So again, here's the fragrance I'm using, and I'm doing a 2% fragrance load in here, and that is safe with the IFRA recommendations. Again, if you whatever fragrance you're using, please look up the amount for lotion for your fragrance of choice or essential oil of choice. So I am adding 5 grams of this fragrance oil to my lotion. All right, and now while it is still a little bit warm, I'm going to go ahead and fill my containers because it will thicken up a bit, but this way it'll pour into the containers really nicely. And I just have a very simple funnel on top so that hopefully I won't make a big mess. So let's see how far we go. I figured at least I would get 2 jars. I might get 3. We shall see. right, we are back. I've got 3 full bottles and one that's about 3/4 of the way full. And I have a little bit here. We're gonna go ahead and do my product test now, and then I'll go print out some labels and talk about how I'm gonna label these and how cute they look when they're all finished. But I just wanna say, this is still warm. I am gonna keep the lids off of these until they are fully cooled because I don't want any condensation building up inside the bottles. So these will just sit like this. If you wanna throw a paper towel over the top, you can do that, but let them cool. I'm gonna go print my labels, but right now, let me go ahead and pour a little out. Because it's warm, it is still very drippy. It feels super light on the skin. Let's go ahead and rub it on my arm here. There's the white cast from the zinc oxide, and we'll rub it in. And look at that, it just soaks right in. This is such a light, easy to put on formula. This would be wonderful for children. It just rubs right in. I love how quickly that absorbed in. Let me get my other arm here and show you one more time. So there's the drippy, liquidy, but let's go ahead and rub it on again. It's pretty white, but as soon as I rub it in, it goes really quickly into the skin. And I did moisturize today, so it's not like this is super dry, thirsty skin. I moisturize daily. And there it is. And this is a very, very effective sunblock. I have had wonderful success not burning, playing in the sun all day, and I am loving it. So there it is, no white cast. It feels really good on the skin. It absorbs in there. And so let these cool, and we will be back with labels in a little bit. All right, we are back. It's the next day. I got busy down in the studio and I just left these to cool. So they are fully cool today. And if you can hear this, I don't know if you can hear, it's very liquidy. So this is gonna be a really lightweight lotion. If you wanted a thicker end formula, you can reduce the water phase a little. You can increase the E-wax, the emulsifying wax a little, and that'll thicken this up. I actually like that it's a very lightweight. We will do a product demo after I get these labeled. So let's talk about the labels here. I printed horizontal labels today. Normally I print these up and down the vertical way, but with Maestro Label Designer, you can do either way. And I have who I am, what this product is, just some of the key notes in it, and the ingredients listed from greatest to least. You want to list your ingredients in descending order. So that's what I've got there. These are the labels I'm using today there we go, from onlinelabels.com. This is the stock number. I use the craft paper. They come in all different kinds. If you have an inkjet printer, they have clear ones and all of that. Ton of stuff over there. I am not sponsored by them. I buy all of my own products at retail price, or if they have a sale, I use that. But anyway, here's what I'm using today. And so let's get these labeled. This is my little 3/4 bottle, which will be mine to keep and play around with here. And these are the full bottles. And so this is my pro tip. You've seen me do this before on round bottles. A couple of spatulas will hold this jar from rolling around. So let me lay it on here. Grab a label and just line it up, as easy as that. And there you go. And I think the craft labels look really cute on these amber bottles. I find that so appealing. All right, let me get the rest of these labeled. All right, here they are, finished product. I'm so happy with how these came out. Let me do one more product demo for you. I'm just going to give it a shake because it's liquidy, and why not? And so just a little squeeze. It's pretty light. There it is with the white cast, and let's try it on. And again, I did moisturize this morning, and so this isn't absorbing real quick. If you had dry, super dry skin, it would go right on in. But there it is, a little bit of a white cast. Rubs right in. It feels so nice and moisturizing. I am delighted with this formula. It's very lightweight. It just feels really, really nice. And it doesn't leave a shiny or a tacky feel. It absorbs quickly. So it is a little liquidy. This would be great in a pump. It's very thin, but if you wanted to make it thicker, you could definitely do that. I'm loving the thin formula. I think it's super easy to rub on and rub in. And so there it is. I do hope you give the recipe a try. And remember, you can turn your favorite lotion recipe into a sunblock with the zinc oxide. You don't need to use this one. There was nothing special about this recipe other than it's just a nice lightweight lotion. So any lotion recipe you love, throw some zinc oxide. You've got yourself a great sunblock. There it is. And I hope you have a wonderful day.